Hello, Doyin.
Hi, big brother.
How was your beauty sleep?
My brother. Past beauty sleep. I was dreaming. I don't understand my dreams anymore. I had a very good sleep. It was good, thank you.
And what was your dream about?
I forgot. That's the problem. Every time I keep forgetting my dreams. I can't even remember it, but it was good when I was dreaming it. But now I've forgotten it. I forgot. My memory is failing me this house.
The best dreams are usually forgettable. Welcome to your diary session.
Thank you, big brother.
How are you today?
I'm really good. I feel very well rested. I'm cool, nothing much. I'm okay. It's a good day.
Big Brother would like you to recap the events of the last few days. Feel free to talk about the eviction of Uriel, the head of House Gay, and every other thing you'd like to discuss.
Thank you, big brother. I'll start with Uriel's eviction. To be honest, like, when she was evicted, I'm not going to say I was shocked, and this is just me being honest. I'm not going to say I was shocked like that, because I just had a feeling. I don't know why. I'd even said it to Tolani Badge the night before. I was like, did I say Uriel, they go out? And I don't even know why, I just felt it, and I just said it. So I wasn't really surprised. I liked the way she took it. She wasn't crying. She took it with good faith, and she just laughed and, left. I think she did enough to like, show herself in the house, like, show that she sings well, she acts well. To be fair, I wasn't really affected like that, because I like her as a person, but I was just like, okay, the game is the game, right? So I wasn't really affected, but she's a sweet girl. I wish her all the best. One person out, more to go. That's how I felt, to be honest. But I wish her all the best. HOH game, Biggie. Oh my goodness, I love the game so much. Let me tell you, Angel had come to meet me before the game. That Shay was our third partner. It was myself, Angel, and Shay. And in this house, I've been saying, I want a girl to be HOH, and I want a girl to get the pardon me. But I just didn't know if it was possible, because the girls in this house, oh my God, they're dingbats. Like, sometimes I'm like, you could even have brains, because we work against each other, the girls in this house. But for some reason, we just decided to like cooperate, and then we sabotaged Shay. It wasn't really because it was Shay. If it was any other guy, we'd have sabotaged the guy, because we really wanted the girl to win. So we worked really well together. I love Angel. And, I got through the first round, and the second round, big brother, it was bloody. It was very chaotic. We got Perry out, and I personally like Perry as a person, but to be honest, I'm just sick of him and Kid feeling like they run this I'm not cursing. Feeling like they run this house. So I just wanted him to know that, boy, you're not going to be HOH. Not this week at least. So we got him out, and then we were actually going to leave it for Soma to win, to be fair, because we felt like they were going to sabotage the girls. So we're like, okay, if they sabotage the girls, then Soma can have it. So I wanted Adekunle or Soma. So I told them, I'm not going to sabotage Adekunle, but like, let's see. And then we spoke with Soma. All of a sudden, Soma carried sand and went to point inside Messi's thing. And I'm like, boy, okay, now let's play this game then. So I went, in fact, at first I was putting in meal zone. Then I saw Soma put in Messi's bucket. I'm like, you really tried it. So I went and I poured my sand in his bucket. And I told Messi, you know what, let's face Soma. So we faced Soma, we brought his own down. In fact, the last round, I was so happy when he came down, because I wasn't sure what was going to come down, but I wanted him to be out, because we already spoke. So I don't know why he moved that way. We were all supposed to go for Perry to get him out of the game, but he decided to, play us. So I'm like, you know what, boy, so can play this game. So I only put in his bucket because he put in Messi's bucket and I wanted the girl to win. So I'm like, hell no. So I was out. I really wanted Adekunle to stay longer in the game, to be fair, but those people came guns blazing for him. So he was out and it was just Messi and I left and knew, big brother, this house, people are weird. Neo is always talking to me about, Doyin, you're my person in this house, for a particular reason, you get, he's always talking about that. And obviously it was Messi and I wanted a girl to win, but I don't want another girl to win over me. I'm not stupid. So I wanted to win the HOH, obviously. So I was speaking to Neo and I'm like, well, we're going to take you out anyways. You don't really stand a chance. So how about you help me win and I pardon you? Okay, he said I should pardon him. I'm like, that's fine, that's cool. And I will even pick you as BFF. And then Perry and Kid Y, of course, got in his head. And all of a sudden, he's like, he's not playing anymore. I'm like, really? I'm like, okay, then cool, don't play. But then he started to try to make it seem like he dropped out honorably. Hell no, boy, you did not drop out honorably. You were going to lose anyways because we're going to sabotage you. So he just dropped out because he knew that we were coming for him. And there was really no point playing. So later on, they wanted to make it seem as if, Neo did such a honorable thing of dropping out. I'm like, boy, bye. You did not drop out honorably. You dropped out because we're going to sabotage you. So goodbye. So he was done, and I'm happy he even dropped out. Now I know who he is. I know that he's a snake. But we'll leave that till later. I don't really care about him, to be honest. That's his business. Then the pardon me, big brother. Before that pardon me, Angel and I were going around the house asking for people to pardon Ilebai, actually, because Perry and Kid were really sabotaged at the game. So we really wanted to pardon her. We just, Angel came to meet me and she was like, she has had a struggle in this house. Let's just pardon her. And I was like, I'm down with that. 100%. Even though at the time, Baye and I were not cool, but I don't care. In this house, I'm still always going to pick out about any of these people. So I was like, okay, cool. So we're going around telling people to pardon her. But after that HOH game, I don't know. I'm normally not the type of person that is power hungry. To be honest, I'm just like, you know what? I don't want to be where the work is at. So normally I'm like, I don't want to do the work. But I don't know what came over me. Maybe because I came so close to the HOH thing. I wanted it so bad. I was happy that Messi won, but people that I'm not going to lie, there was a part of me that was just bitter. I was hurt. I'm like, I don't want to be up. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to do everything in my power. I'm going to laugh with my enemy. I'm going to lick ass. I'm going to do whatever it is I have to do to get this part of me today. I had to pick between Baye and myself. Wow. I picked myself. So I went to them and I'm like, you know what? I want the pardon. Because I came too close and I am hurt and I want to be pardoned. And they were like, we're going to pardon Baye, everything. I'm like, okay, that's fine if people choose to pardon Baye, because I'm going to go there and still mention Baye's name anyway, but I'm just going to express how I feel. And the honest truth is I want to be pardoned. So last minute, I started talking to people and convincing people. I had to get my emotional game up. You know me, normally I'm always very mouthy and everything. I'm like, you guys, I'm so hurt. I had to be talking this really sad little girl because I wanted it. I wanted it so bad. And, Angel is a sweetheart. And she was just like, Doyin, I get where you're coming from. I know, when you drop out first, it's easier. But when you come so close, and you can literally taste it. I thought I was going to win that HOH. I was even thinking, I'm not going to lie. While I was playing it, I was like, how can I cheat? How can I win this thing? But Messi won. I really feel like she was destined to be the first female HOH, to be honest. I'm just like, it's just destiny. She got it and I wanted it. So I did everything I could do to get the part of me. And then last minute, before you called me to come and nominate my own the person I was going to pardon, I went to pee and then I was in the locker room and Tolani Badge and Perry, they called me and they're like, oh, who are you pardoning? Me, I already knew that I was campaigning for myself, but there was no way in hell I was going to tell any of those people because I knew that they were not going to pardon me. So I'm like, oh, I'm pardoning Ilebairo. And they're like, oh, really? I'm like, yeah. And then I walked out, and then I remembered, I'm like, oh, that means they're campaigning for somebody. So I had to go back to find out who they were campaigning for and find out how many people they have. So I went back and I'm like, you know what, Perry? I realized that I sabotaged you in the game. I'm a liar, big brother. I'm a bloody liar. I went back, I'm like, I realized I sabotaged you in the game. You know what, I feel bad. Who are you guys pardoning? I want to pay. I want to pay back. And Tolan is like, oh, we're going to pardon Neil. I'm like, in my brain, I'm like, Neil, the boy that refused to work with me. I'm like, okay, I hear you. I'm like, okay, do you need me to pardon Neil then? They're like, yes. Paris stood there like the boss. You know, like the Don with his sunglasses. In my mind, I'm like, boy, bye. So I said I was going to pardon you, but I was lying, of course. There was no way in heaven, hell, and the world in between that I was going to pardon you. So I was like, yeah, I'll pardon you. But I just wanted to get their numbers, to know how many people they had, to compare with how many people I had. So I can know if I still had to convince more people. So I was like, okay, so how many people do we have now? They're like, we have 6 people. I'm like, okay, good. I think we're good. Because for Ilebaye, we only have, I said for Ilebaye, we have 5. Boy, I was lying. So I went there and I was counting how many people we had. So I realized at the time that I had 7 people. So I went to speak to EK. To be honest, I don't even know if that boy pardoned me. That boy, he's a sweet boy, but he's very easily persuaded. So I wasn't sure, but I was just like, you know what, let me just speak to him one last time. So I went, and the thing with EK is this, you can't go soft. You have to go are you going to pardon me or not? If you're not going to do it, just tell me now that at the end of the day, I'm not going to have your back in this game. I just started talking a lot of bullshit. I don't know if he pardoned me or not. He promised that he would. I'm not really sure. But I didn't trust him, so I went to speak to Angel. And I was like, Angel, just to be safe, let's speak to Cross. So I had Angel go speak to Cross, because I know that Cross was going to speak pardon by it before. And it was just going to be weird for it to be me coming to say, you know what, pardon me instead. So I was like, Angel, go speak to Cross. So Angel went to speak to Cross. I don't even know if he pardoned me or not. The most important thing to me is that I got it, and I was so excited. And you know the weird thing, big brother, I woke up that morning and I felt the worst I had ever felt in this house. I woke up with a very bad cold. My eyes were swollen. I was just feeling like my sinus was irritated, everything. And I just said to God that morning, I'm like, I don't know what's happening with this big man up there, but he's not answering my prayers. Because I've been praying in this house and nothing has been happening. So I'm like, God, I feel like you've left me in this game. But if you're here, you know what? I want 2 things today. I said to him that I wanted immunity and I wanted to be a BFF, because I really wanted privacy. I wanted to go up there and just have space to think. I didn't even know how it was going to happen. I didn't ask for pardon because I'm like, there's no way these people are going to pardon me in this house. I know. But somehow I got the immunity and I got the BFF. I'm like, okay, I'm not alone in this house. Maybe God still listens to me. I know I've been a bit bad, so maybe I was thinking he wasn't listening to me again because I've been telling lies here and there because I have to. But yeah, I got it, and yeah, so my week has been sweet since then. And then on to topic, oh my God, big brother, Kid Wire was sore. He was so sorry. He was like, he couldn't even congratulate me or Mercy, but who cares? That's your problem. Nobody gives a damn. And Perry came to talk to me about, oh, you're kissing their ass because you think they have a big fan base. They're trying to get in my head as far, oh, maybe I let Mercy win. I'm like, boy, I'm not you. If you would let her win, does not mean I would let her win. Mercy and I played that game together, and I just feel like whoever won was meant to win. There was no way in hell I would have just let it go. Even though before the game, I'm like, Mercy, would you like to have it? Girl, I was lying. I was just trying to be noble. There was no way. But they were trying to get in my head, making me feel like, oh, I'm kissing their asses because they have everything I did that day, I did for myself. If I smiled with anybody more than normal, I did for myself. The only person that was at the forefront of my head that day was Doyin Esmeralda David. Period. I didn't do nothing for anybody. So all those talk that he was saying, I'm just like, boy, I'm not you. If you're going to kiss somebody's ass in this house, that's not me. If by next week, I feel like the other side of the house has the numbers, that's where I'm going to be. Because at this point, it's time to play games. So the only person I owe any form of loyalty to in this house is Lebai. Any other person can really go under the boat. No, not any other person. Sissy, I love Sissy. And I love Cross. Cross is a sweetheart. I like Cross. But I don't feel like I'm loyal to him. Sissy, kind of. But yeah, I didn't kiss nobody's ass. I just did whatever I had to do to win. I mean, they had the numbers. I couldn't have voted on the wrong side of the house. That would have been a stupid thing to do just because I like Perry personally. It's because I mean, nobody like Remy Kanye. I wanted to win. So I did what I had to do. And I got what I wanted. Period. So now, to top that up, we did the Aquafina task, right? Big Brother. Week 2 in this house, I was having a conversation with Fraud and Mercy and one other person. I can't even remember the third person. And, you know, for the first time, I was actually able to think by myself. Outside the house, you know, Adekunle and I had this big fallout. And to be fair, at the reunion, I didn't really feel bad about anything I said because I felt like, you know what, he caused it. He did something to me. I spoke from a place of hurt. I was hurt. If you even watch that video, you can tell that my voice was shaking. I was about to start crying because that was the first time me and Adekunle had spoken since the show was over, right? So I was speaking from hurt. It was very fresh for me. I was very upset. And at that point, I didn't feel bad, to be honest. But you see, when I watched it, Big Brother, oh my God. I watched that episode twice, and I was like, Doyin, you are a bad person. I felt bad. I thought what I said was too much. I was like, oh my, but I could tell that I was hurt. And I had spoken to some people were like, baby girl, like, you know, he also said this about you, also said that about you. And then I had spoken to some other people that I really respect, and they were like, you said too much. There was a part of my heart that felt like I said too much, but my ego was just, I was like, you know, I'm not going to apologize. And sometimes I can be stubborn. Sometimes I can be like, you know, I don't care, whatever. But like, for the first time, I was able to just think by myself without having any voices in my head or anybody saying, oh, this is what he also said, or anybody showing me clips or anything. And I thought about it by myself. And I could remember the words I said, and I'm like, oh, this was a bit too much, truly. So I called him week 2 on this show, and I apologized to him. But the apology I gave, that conversation didn't go very well because I was still speaking with pride. So I was like, you know what, I'm sorry that I said the mom thing. I realized I was wrong. The apology wasn't the type of apology that it deserved. It did not match the level of the offense. And I'm the type of person that likes to say, when you offend somebody on a scale of 10, you should apologize on a scale of 10. So even though I apologized, and we're not really fighting in the house, we speak here and there in tasks and all that, and I let him know that, you know what, I know you might not care about me, but I'm never going to try to sabotage you in this house. And I've tried to keep up with that. When you told us to do this task, and my category was Claire, Miss Claire, Team Claire, and the interpretation of that category was someone who is very well spoken, well articulated, can express their emotions well. Sometimes something about being, you know, very vocal and being well spoken. I was supposed to give it to a guy. I looked at all the guys in the house, Shay and I sat together, and I'm like, you know what? The only guy that fits this description is Adekunle. And I thought about it there. I was actually already writing a different story, but then I thought about it there, and I'm like, okay, you offended this boy in public, right? You said a lot of mean things to this boy in public. You should apologize to him in public. And there was a part of me that was a bit worried that what if I said it and it was just like, you know what, bitch, bye. I was worried about that. Or if it was just like, nobody cares. Or if maybe he refused to stand up or refused to hug me. But I was just like, you know what, I'll take my chance. I'm not really the type of person to be scared or anything. I'm very bold. That's one thing about me. So I'm just like, you know what, let me just do it. It feels right in my conscience at this moment to just, you know, do it. And I was like, you know, and he's also the person that suits that category the best of all these boys in this house that can't even speak English. So I'm just like, let me give it to this boy because he deserves it. So I sat down and I thought about really kind words to say that were actually true. And I said it. And the funny thing was, on a normal day when I'm presenting, I'm normally able to present top of mind, like just out of my own brain without writing anything down. Big brother, for the first time, I knew that I couldn't say that in front of my head. I had to write it down. Shay was telling me, I'm doing, you will do debates. You don't even come with paper, everything. I said, what I'm writing, I just feel, even when I was writing it, my hands were shaking. Like, I'm happy I wrote it down because there was no way I could have said it off my head. I couldn't even read it out without getting, like, choked up. But I'm happy I did it. I was really scared. I was like, because I know that there are people on the outside that would have been like, why did you do that? Why? Because there are people like, it might give you a lie if you try to apologize to him. It might do something. Well, just like, you know what? Let me just take the chance. And I'm happy I did it. I felt bad. And when he came to hug me, I told him again, you know what? I'm really genuinely sorry from the bottom of my heart. And after the task, I met with him again. And I was like, that wasn't just for the task. I'm actually genuinely sorry. I think I felt worse because, you know when you say really harsh words to somebody and they respond harshly, you feel okay. You almost feel like, you're even anyways, like 2 gay 4, we're good. But because he didn't insult me back, and every time I saw that clip on the internet, I watched it and I watched his response, I'm like, no. So I felt like it really deserved an apology, and I was really genuinely sorry. I don't think we're necessarily going to be besties. I'm not even trying to be besties with him, to be fair, because I'm not going to say that I agree with every of his character, but it didn't warrant me going that low. I went low, and I spoke from a place of hurt, and I should be able to be accountable, because that's what I always say to people: when you fuck up, be accountable and say you're sorry. So I did it, and I've apologized to him again and again and again, and I hope that it's really bygone. I don't know. So I don't know, but I don't know if it is. And then Biggie, Kid Wire is a politician. You see that boy? That boy is a politician. He had offended me, Kid Wire, in this house. When we came into this house, big brother, we were good. We had a friendship. We were always playing around everything. We have banter. We keep on like insulting each other here and there. It's all jokes. We laugh about it. We move on. And then I just noticed something in my spirit was just like, something is not right. I just noticed I started moving funny, and I'm like, what's happening? And then 5 people, in fact 6 now, including last night, came to meet me. I was like, I don't know what you've done to Kido, but that boy is not your friend. This boy will go to different people in the house. You know when that parrot played that thing and I called him a fat idiot, I felt so bad. I kept on going to apologize to him. And then at the point it became a joke, where he would call me a puppet master, I'll call him a fat idiot, we'll laugh about it. And he never mentioned to me that he was the one that actually started that narrative. But then I was speaking with Angel, and she's like, do you know that Kid Wire was actually the one that came to meet us in the pink room and was telling us that anything that Ilebai does in this house, don't ever blame her, blame Doyin. Doyin is really the problem. She's trying to get Baye to get into arguments. She's trying to get Baye out of this house. Like, she's really the instigator, everything. He said that to Angel. Sissy told me that the night that she and Baye got into that argument with me too, that Kid had come to meet them on a general, like there were many people there, and was telling them, you people don't know the real devil in this house is doing da-da-da-da-da. And I was like, oh really? Okay then. Let's see, I was hurt. And I'm like, why is it? I didn't understand why I was doing that. And then when the night again, when Angel and Ilebai had the argument, I wasn't even there with the argument. I don't even really know what caused that argument. I just asked my friend, I'm like, what happened? And she told me, and Adekunle also said that day that, you know what, Ilebai didn't do anything wrong. So me, I was just like, I'm going to support my friend. So I supported my friend. And he went and he was telling Angel. I saw him walking around with Angel, but I did not even imagine that it was me they were talking about. He went and was telling Angel that, I don't know why you're fighting Ilebai. Doing is the problem. You need to find a way to get her out of the house. She's an instigator. She's instigating things. And then Angel told me everything. And again, me that I went to go and meet Sissy to say, Sissy, settle with White and Cross. I don't agree with them saying people should isolate you in the house. Because immediately they came to the blue room to say it. I was the only one that said, you know what, I'm not going to do that. Because I know what it feels like to be alone, or to feel alone. And for me, that's why my bond with Baye is even that strong. Because Baye and I were not even friends before the house. to be honest. But when I came in this house, I could tell that people were looking down on her. And beyond the fact that she's from Level Up, and, you know, I just think she's a young girl, and I just look at her like she's my younger sister. I didn't like that she felt alone. And whenever anybody feels alone, there's something in me that feels the need to stand for them, because I've been there and I felt alone, and I don't want anybody to feel that way. So I felt like they wanted Sisi to feel alone that day, and I wasn't going to have it. And I said to them, I'm not going to do that. And more than that, I'm going to tell her that this is what people are trying to do, because it's unfair. So many more people had insulted people during that task. Sisi only said, you people are full of shit. And she said that last minute. She had been trying all her best to make everybody cooperate for the task. She didn't really do anything wrong for them to say, oh, let's all isolate Sisi in this house. I just thought it was mean. So I said, I'm not going to do it. So I went and I told her, you know what? Even though they did this thing, I feel like these two people have been your friends, and because I just know Cross is a sweetheart, and I've been getting to know White, so I don't really think he's a bad person. I told her, you know what, I'll even help you initiate the conversation with Cross and White Money. I'll just explain your perspective, and then you can have a conversation with them and just settle it. Like, this house, things are constantly changing, and you don't know when, you know, you're going to need a friend, and they might be the ones you need. So just settle this, squash this beef, and move on, right? I saw that she had a conversation with Cross, and I'm like, okay, good. So now I have a conversation with White. So I was trying to convince her about that, you know what, Sisi, you know that you can also be rude sometimes, because White said he felt like she was being disrespectful to him and everything, and I wasn't there, but I know my friend, and I know that sometimes she's like me, she talks, so there's a high chance that maybe she was actually disrespectful to him. Maybe she didn't intend to, but there's a high chance that she was. So I was saying, and I just followed this guy talk, everything, and I said, but you went to reconcile with Cross, and you're not reconciling with White. That's double standards to me, and I don't think it's fair. And then Kid Wire, the bearer of people's burdens, decided to face me and said to me that, oh, I'm instigating, I'm trying to make Sisi fight with Cross. Big brother, if there's any boy in this house that I have a soft spot for, and I truly see that he's an honest, genuine, sweet soul, it is Cross. And then maybe Ike. Cross is a sweetheart. I keep saying it. Cross is sunshine in human body. He reminds me of, I feel like if I were to raise a boy, maybe apart from the liking girls part, I don't know, I think that's just something that we all have in us. I'll raise him like Cross. Cross is genuine, Cross is sweet, Cross is sunshine. There's no way in this house I would ever try to get anybody against Cross. And that hurt me, that he was trying to put that in people's heads that were there, that I was trying to instigate that Sisi and Cross should be fighting. I gave him a piece of my mind. I was worried because I was so pissed off, because I was worried I was going to say more than I should say, because I was already getting there. So I walked out of the room just because I didn't want to say anything that I would regret. I left it. This boy had hours to come and meet me to say, Doyin, sorry about this, because Sisi explained to him that, oh, this is where she's coming from, you can understand why she would feel this way, everything. Because if you're instigating, if you're telling people I'm an instigator, it's only a matter. Angel told me, Doyin, he convinced me. Venita told me, he convinced me you're an instigator. I'm just getting to know you now. There are people that he has actually successfully convinced. So if you're telling people I'm an instigator, what you're going to eventually do is you're going to make people not want to be cool with me in the house, and I'm going to be by myself, and that's going to be really, really tough. I'm not going to have any friends. That's not a nice thing to do to somebody, especially somebody that you were cool before. I don't know what they do. I don't know what I buy for your market. Like, I don't get it. So that really, really hurt me. And he knew that I was hurt. He never came to meet me to say sorry. He carried his face. All of a sudden, conveniently, in the middle of a sponsored task, when you know that all the cameras are on you, Kidwire decided to, first of all, narrate a story about Cross, which I thought was mean. If you wanted to change your candidate, why take Cross through that roller coaster of emotion and start telling his story and start making him feel like he's going to get a badge? Because at a point, I started realizing that badge actually meant a lot to people in this house. Like, people started feeling somehow if they didn't get a badge. You didn't have to tell that boy all that plenty thing, and at the end of the day say, unfortunately, it's not my party for life. That's just dramatic. Plus, the story he even told was not even true. He went and was telling people the story he told about him and Cross. Cross was talking to me today, and Cross was telling me how hurt he was, and that the story was not even true. That a lot of the things he said in the story were not even correct. That he just felt like maybe he was trying to paint a picture of, oh, I bawled I met Cross in a different country. I told him to come over. My security was there. I'm like, boy, bye. That story wasn't true. It didn't happen like that. The beach thing he said never happened, according to Cross. Them beating somebody up never happened. So why do all that? Why take somebody through that roller coaster of emotion, dump them like that, and then at the end of the day, you now say, oh, but my party for life goes to Doyin. I'm not gonna lie, for a second I bought it. I was shocked. I'm like, what? But then I now went and read the meaning of that category. Most refreshing. The first sentence was, this person is a breath of fresh air. Big brother, there's one thing about me. I'm a very self-aware person. I'm not a breath of fresh air. If anything, I'm the principality that people are praying against in this house. I know. Because my mouth is too sharp. I'm very aware of that. There's nobody that is looking at me in this house and like, oh, Doyin gives me peace. I don't give nobody peace in this house. That category did not suit me. That boy did it because he's up and he wanted to make a statement and he wanted to just maybe create something on the outside. That's the way. If I'm wrong, then I stand to be corrected and I owe him an apology. But as of now, I don't believe that boy. That boy did it for himself and himself alone. He sat with me after and was like, oh, I did it because I wanted to just show to you and just show to people that I care about you. I sabotage Cross for you. I sabotage Tolani badge for you. I even had to convince Ike to give. When he was talking, you know when somebody's saying something, but you can tell that everything that they're saying is just lies and more lies and more lies. I'm like, oh, even me, I even told him, I'm sorry that I did not believe you. We hugged. But in my head, I'm like, no, there's something not right about this. That boy did it for himself. I don't believe jack shit. But of course, I'm going to act like we're cool in this house. Everything. I'm going to do kumbaya with him. But if I have any opportunity to also let people know that this boy is playing a game, he's a politician, I don't believe a word that comes out of his mouth, I'm going to take that chance very well and campaign against him. Kidwire is playing a game. I love that he's playing a good game for himself, but one thing he doesn't know is that he's being too obvious because people can tell, people can read through that game, so it's no longer a good game. You want to play a game, play with a conscience. If somebody has done nothing wrong to you, don't go around, play your game, don't go around instigating people against people. Do you understand? That's very mean because you're going to isolate the person and that's unfair. I haven't forgiven him. I don't think he's sorry. After the show, this boy could not mouth the words, Doyin, I am sorry. And that was when I knew that he didn't do it for me, he did it for himself. And you know what, we can play that game. I don't care if he doesn't speak to me. He keeps on making statements like, oh, it's outside this house, we're gonna know who is the real person. You know they feed me before this house. Boy, you're not gonna feed me after this house. If God says I'm gonna be good, I'm gonna be good. I don't need you in this house or after this house. I don't feel the need to kiss your ass or be an ally to you or anything, especially when I can see that you're trying to sabotage me. So you don't need to like me, I don't care. Just don't convince other people not to like me. So me, I went and I told people, yes, this is what Kid did, da-da-da-da-da. And I put it in their heads too. So I hope that they're seeing him for who he really is. He's a politician, and to be honest, people, I couldn't care less if he leaves this house. I don't care. I'm going to laugh with him. I'm going to play with him. I don't know if it's going to change over time, but if you're trying to pull me down, I hope that you go down first. Because for you to try to pull someone down, you have to be beneath the person already. What he did to me was mean, and I cannot forgive him. And because of that, we're going to play the game together. You can instigate people against me, I'll do the same thing to you. 2 gave 4, we're very even. So yeah, we're good. So he did it for himself, he didn't do anything for me. That badge means absolutely nothing to me. There's nothing refreshing about me. I'm a bone in people's throats. That's the truth. So, I don't care about him. And yeah, that's all. What else has happened in this house? I had a very good conversation with Cross today.
Doyin.
Yes.
Iggy, my head.
Today's diary session affords you an opportunity to stake on this week's wager.
Already?
Your allowance for this week is 500 money points coins.
Okay.
The minimum you can stake is 100 money points coins. You may proceed.
I believe in this week's wager and I want to be supportive to Mercy's government, so I will stake will stake 250 because of mercy and because I believe. Am I sure? 250 because I also want to buy
Kindly
white.
confirm your stake.
Hey, 200. 200, big brother. I'll stake 200.
And would you like to discuss anything else with
Yeah.
Big Brother?
Yes, big brother. During the course of the week, I fell out with my friend, and it really, really hurt me. Because when I'm upset, I say some things just spur of the moment, and I felt like she did not really get where I was coming from. And I'm happy that we're cool now. I've told her everything I said about her, but I feel bad that we even fell out in the first place. I just don't like that we're not able to disagree and discuss our disagreements. Like, if me and my friend fight, I don't want to go back and forth with my friend and call my friend names. I want to sit with my friend and say, this is how you made me feel. This is how, and you tell me this is how I made you feel. I don't mind apologizing. I want us to get back on track. But I felt like she disrespected me by not, I called her to let us have a conversation, and she didn't want to have the conversation. And I really didn't do anything wrong. To be honest, I was just trying to look out for her. So I was hurt by that. I'm like, why can't we just disagree and resolve our conflicts like adults, do you get? But that didn't mean that I should be speaking to Cross, and I called her dumb, and that was wrong. I've apologized to her, I feel bad about it, but we're in a good space now, and I hope that we don't fall out again, and I hope that she doesn't go, and yeah, I wish her all the best, and I love her very much in this house. I really do, genuinely. I love Cece too. Yeah, that's all I have to say. Yeah, Biggie, that's all. I don't really think I have any other thing to say. Biggie, if you want to give me any task in this house, I'm down. I'm down, because sometimes I'll be bored. So if you want me to do anything, just let me know, and I'll do it. That's all I have to say.
Do not forget to tell your friend how you feel about her.
Yes, I have. I've told her 1 billion times already.
Your diary session has come to an end. You may
Yes.
now leave the diary room and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you so much, big brother. Have a good day. Oh, goodbye. Did I take time?
Jesus.